Yo, what's good? So this is a response video to NoNameBoxing TV, and his video is called Miguel Cotto stripped of WBC belt. Cotto is a fraud. So he's saying in this video that Cotto was a hype job all along and discrediting his career because he didn't pay the sanctioning fees and basically vacated the title, and how he's ducking Gennady Golovkin and basically discrediting his whole career over that, saying who has he fought? Who has he beat? Why is he able to negotiate this? And I always say, like, at least these guys, Pac, May, Cotto, at least these guys had a full career, already legendary career. So I don't mind them being divas as much as other guys like Adrian Broner being divas, because they haven't earned it. Cotto has earned it. And yeah, before I get started reading out Cotto's resume, I want to say, if you haven't checked out NoNameBoxing TV's channel, go check it out, man. This guy is funny. He just tells it like it is, how he thinks, man. He doesn't pull any punches. Go check out his channel. But I disagreed with him. Cotto, he has been fighting in world title fights since 2004. When he beat Kelson Pinto for the vacant WBO junior welterweight title. And since then, he was in world title fights up until 2012, where he lost to Austin Trout. His only non-title fight since 2004 has been the Delvin Rodriguez fight. That's it. Think about it. I don't know how many fights this has been. It's 23 fights. Out of 23 fights, 22 have been for a world title. And he made 6 defenses of his WBO title. In that run, he beat Randall Bailey, future world champion, DeMarcus Corley, who fought a who's who. You really pretty much name anyone who has gone through 140, he has fought them. Ricardo Torres, future world champion, he beat Kendall Holt. Kendall Holt's another underrated fighter, I believe. Paulie Malignaggi, future two-time world champion. Then he moved up to welterweight and he beat Carlos Quintana. Carlos Quintana would later beat Paul Williams for the WBO welterweight champion, so he's a future world champion too. Zab Judah, who still had something left. I'm not gonna completely give him all the credit for beating Zab Judah, but I will give him credit for beating Shane Mosley, who was in a five fight winning streak after losing to Winky Wright in the rematch. Mosley had beaten Fernando Vargas twice and Luis Collazo twice, so he was on a bit of a roll, and he beat the best possible Mosley that could have showed up that night. Mosley fought a hell of a fight, and a lot of people think that Mosley won, but Cotto ended up winning the decision. But he fought the best possible Mosley that he could have fought. Then he fights Antonio Margarito, who we all know how that fight ended up, but nobody wanted to fight Margarito at that time. A certain fighter retired instead of fighting Margarito. I'm not going to say he retired because of Margarito, but he retired and didn't fight him. So you have to give Cotto credit for fighting a monster like Margarito, who nobody wanted to fight. He was just like Paul Williams. Nobody wanted to fight him. And he gave him the best fight of his life, man. These guys, I love their rivalry. I love their fights, both of them. I can't say enough about Margarito. But then he goes on to fight Joshua Clottey, who he beat in a very close decision. He suffered a nasty cut, man. A nasty cut in that fight, man. You gotta at least give Cotto credit for being a warrior, man. He fought in so many great fights. The DeMarcus Corley fight, the Zab Judah fight, the Shane Mosley fight, the Margarito fight, now the Joshua Clottey fight, where he was gushing blood out of his eye, man. Cotto has been in some wars, brother. Cotto has been in some bloody wars. But Clottey was another former world champion. Got Manny Pacquiao. He fought Manny Pacquiao at his absolute peak. And he had to come down to 145. So they say he's a bit drained. I don't know. But he had to come down to 145. He had to lose weight to fight Manny Pacquiao at his absolute best. A lot of fighters didn't do that. That was probably Pac's best victory at welterweight, beating Miguel Cotto, because a lot of people didn't think that Pacquiao could have beat him. But Pacquiao's a special fighter, and like I said, that was his absolute peak. 2009, man, that's what solidified Pacquiao as fighter of the decade, that last victory against Cotto. And he moves up, fights Yuri Foreman, who's undefeated, 28-0, knocks him out. Beat Mayorga. Mayorga's always always a good name to have on your resume. Another fighter I really enjoy watching. Not going to give him too much credit for beating Mayorga because he struggled a bit. But that's another name on his resume. Antonio Margarito again, he got the redemption. Then he gave Floyd Mayweather the best fight of his life. Mayweather has said that the Cotto fight is his toughest fight he's ever been in. He's also said it was the Emmanuel Augustus, but he says that Miguel Cotto was his hardest fight. So people don't give Mayweather hard fights, and Cotto did. Cotto had a great game plan with that double jab, just keeping pressure on Mayweather. He had a beautiful performance that night. He doesn't go for an easy fight. He fights a guy with a very difficult style in Austin Trout. 25-0, man. He loses his only fight that he's lost in Madison Square Garden. But he's fighting an undefeated young guy with a slick boxer style. So he takes a year off, fights Delvin Rodriguez. Not going to give him credit for that. But he just demolished Delvin Rodriguez, man. He destroyed him. Anyway, Sergio Martinez. Sergio Martinez had been a reigning champion for 4 years since he beat Kelly Pavlik in 2010. Since then, he had beaten the likes of Chavez Jr., Matthew Macklin, Darren Barker, Paul Williams, and Sergey Zinzurg. So he had a run for years. A great run that Martinez had. And yes, he had troubles with his knee and health problems, but someone had to push him off. Martin Murray couldn't push him off. Chavez didn't push him off. Macklin didn't push him off. It took a great fighter that had to push him off the edge. And that's what Cotto did in that fight. We forget sometimes because we dismiss that fight just because how easy it looked. But that's on Cotto. That's on Cotto of what a great fighter he is. And how easily he beat a very good fighter, albeit maybe crippled. But he was still a tough outing for anyone. To say another fighter never wanted to fight him either, you know? And he's the first Puerto Rican fighter that's champion in 4 weight classes. The first one, Daniel Gil, another one. The only guy that had knocked out Daniel Gil was Triple G. And Cotto, a natural welterweight, goes in and demolishes him. Before this fight, I thought that was a good fight because he was actually fighting a natural middleweight who was healthy. But he just destroyed him. Yes, the catch weight and all this. But we're talking about a former world champion in Daniel Gil at middleweight. And now he's fighting Canelo Alvarez, who, yes, it's a big fight. And he kind of had to take it. But he didn't really have to take it. He could have just vacated the title, went down in weight, or just retire. He doesn't have to fight anymore. He doesn't have to fight. Yes, he's a diva. But you can't just forget about his blood and guts wars and all the good fighters that he's beaten, like Carlos Quintana, Paulie Malignaggi, Ricardo Torres, Margarito, Shane Mosley, Zab Judah. So just just take a look at his box rec, man, because I'm not the biggest Miguel Cotto fan today. I do believe he acted like a huge diva against Sergio Martinez. That's the fight where I'm like, damn, this guy is truly a diva. Because Martinez wouldn't lie about that. He's just the truth, Martinez. But he beat a bunch of good champions. He made 6 defenses of his junior welterweight title, 3 defenses of his welterweight title. How many defenses? 2 defenses of his junior middleweight title before losing to Floyd Mayweather, and 1 defense of his middleweight title. But he's been around and he's been fighting the cream of the crop for over 10 years now. Over 10 years. And we just can't discredit it over him being a diva today. So, there you have it. And thanks everybody for watching. You guys have a great day.